Hey guys, the Common Man here. So I've got kind of a, I guess it's somewhat of a first impressions video slash like EDC update, just kind of updating you guys on what I'm going to have in my pocket, or at least what I'm going to be trying out. So today, obviously you can see what we have in front of us is a Victorinox. This is a Swiss Army knife. So to be totally honest with you guys, I never took these things seriously, the Swiss Army knives. I always thought they were kind of a novelty. I think of it as the kind of knife you give to your kid. And, here you go, here's a pocket knife. It's not particularly sharp, but have fun. That's kind of what I always thought about these knives, because as a kid, I had a very small Swiss Army knife. I think it was either like the classic or like the SD or something like that. Just one of the small ones. I don't even think it had a pair of scissors. I think it was just a knife, maybe a file, and I don't know, something on the back possibly. But just something little, and it was not particularly sharp. I was honestly probably 10 or 12 when I had the thing, and even then I knew it didn't seem like a very serious knife. And back then I obviously didn't know anything about knives, and I didn't really have any real legitimate pocket knives until years later. But like I said, I think because of that, I just never took them too seriously. But honestly, lately, as I'm researching more everyday carry tools and knives, these things kept popping up, and I kept seeing them, and I started to see all the different models and versions that they came out with, and all the different tools, and I started to realize that could be a very valuable everyday carry tool to have in the pocket. And I also started to realize that their quality is not what I thought it was, which I thought it wasn't particularly high quality. But the more and more I researched them, the more I realized these are legitimate purpose-built tools with incredible, really incredible attention to detail and honestly practicality and engineering. And so eventually I finally decided I'm going to pick one up. I'm going to take a look at it, and this is what I decided on. So I will say that I do not care particularly for the high gloss red scales, which may be another reason I never really decided to pick one up. But I went on DLT's website, started looking at the different models that they offered, and I saw they have a bunch of these DLT exclusive scales, and a couple in different World War II fighter plane designs. And this here is actually a Spitfire. It's a World War II Spitfire fighter plane design, and it just looks so cool. This particular model is the Huntsman. This has maybe a couple of features, definitely one feature that it is something I'm probably not going to use. And let me just say that my idea with picking up one of these was originally to have like a gym bag knife, something I can throw in my gym bag, which isn't just a gym bag. I take it to work with me. If I'm traveling, I have that bag with me. It's just a small drawstring bag. And I wanted something small, relatively small, with a blade and a couple of tools on it to just kind of make my life more convenient. And the toothpick, the tweezers, those were definitely tools that I was very interested in. And anyway, that's why I went with this model. It's got a lot of different things that could be very convenient. So we'll just take a quick look at the packaging. This is it. This is what it comes in. I actually think it's pretty awesome that Victorinox, they don't go crazy with their packaging. They don't even put anything inside the packaging. There's no, at least I don't believe there are any instruction manuals or anything like that. It's just a box. And honestly, when you're paying this kind of money for a knife, this is cool to see, because you definitely see that you're putting all your money into the knife and not into fancy packaging. So very cool. Good job, Swiss Army knife, or Victorinox, sorry, for keeping it simple in the packaging. All right, and for the knife itself. So you can see right away, I did put a lanyard on this guy. I did that right away. Anything that I carry in the pocket that doesn't have a pocket clip, I definitely will be throwing some kind of a lanyard on it. I just like this extra utility to be able to pull it out of the pocket. And in a case like this, I've got 12 to maybe 14 inches of paracord if I ever need paracord, if I got to tie something, whatever. We'll kind of just go through the tools that this thing comes with. I guess let's go ahead and start on the back here, and I'll kind of give you guys an idea of whether I plan on using each tool or not. Again, this isn't going to be a review. This is just kind of my first impressions and what I plan to use this knife for. So first we'll start off with this is the wine bottle opener, the corkscrew. So I actually, a lot of people say I'll never use that. I do plan on using this. If you don't have a corkscrew or a wine bottle opener, it's a real pain to get those things open. I've had to improvise and do some crazy things to get corks out of a wine bottle. And now hopefully I should have this thing with me most times. And this is definitely going to be put to use. I certainly plan on using it. And these actually are pretty versatile. You can use them for a lot of things. I've seen people untie knots with them. I've seen people remove staples with them. Pretty cool. And then you can also get the small tools to insert into here, which I may look into. The parcel hook, this is supposed to help hook onto the twine and actually carry your parcel, I guess they call it, or whatever your package is. And this is kind of just a good handle, and you just hook this onto the twine to carry the package. So pretty cool. I don't know if I'll ever use this, but I'm sure I'll find something to use it for someday. Right now, I don't really have any plans for this particular tool. And then this next tool is actually very cool. I'm really excited about this, the awl. This is going to be great for punching holes into things. If you ever need to ream out, I don't know if I'll ever really need to ream out something in my just kind of everyday life. But I do like the fact that if you want to put a hole into something, into a belt, into a piece of plastic or something, if you ever need to punch a hole in, this is actually going to be great. And it's got this kind of curved, it's got a blade or like an edge here with this little curved section, so it actually will dig into the material and scoop material as it's twisting. So very cool. I definitely see this being put to use at some point. Come over to the other edge, the other side, we've got a bottle opener. If I have a tool that's got a bottle opener, chances are I'm going to use it. I do enjoy my brews, so I am opening bottles, occasionally. So having a tool with the bottle opener is very nice. And then we have a little wire former, I guess. That's not actually a wire stripper. It's I guess you put a wire in it and you can twist it. It just kind of gives you grip to twist wire around. And then this here can opener, probably won't use this, but I do like the flathead on there. I do plan on using that for screws, maybe for some light prying. And that's another thing on the bottle opener here. That's going to be a great pry bar. And it does actually have a half stop, which is cool. So you can get a lot of leverage if you have a flathead there. Let's see. Next up is going to be the scissors. This is definitely something that I'm going to use. I was carrying a Leatherman all through Christmas and New Year's, and I actually found that I used the scissors probably more than I used the knife or the pliers. The scissors seem to be put to use quite a bit, particularly in opening packaging, or like my kids' toys when you have those plastic ties. Sometimes it's kind of tough getting a knife into one of those plastic straps, those plastic ties that hold toys in, you know what I'm talking about. If you get a knife blade in there, you gotta like really force it to get it to cut. This thing, you just put the strap in there, give it a cut, and it worked really great. And the Leatherman scissors handled it just fine. And from what I understand, these are as good, if not better, than any scissors made by Leatherman. So I'm excited to use that, and it'll definitely get put to use. And check this out. This is actually two things about this that I really like. It's going to be very easy to resharpen if they get dull on you, because they open all the way up, and you can literally just sharpen that on a stone on both sides, both blades. And then another thing, this is just an attention to detail thing that I really like. You see this little spring here. Try not to hit the camera. This little spring here actually has a cup. If we can get that to focus, you see that little cup. So it's actually cupped at the end, or kind of curved off. And then this handle here actually has a groove. So that spring rides in that groove. So if your concern is that this is going to slip side to side, the spring is going to slip off that handle, it's not very likely, because it actually has a little groove to ride in there. And I think that's really cool. And also, this spring can be replaced. You just punch it out the side there, and you can put a new one in there if you ever need to. Really sweet attention to detail by Victorinox. And it's one of those things that more and more I'm finding they really have their stuff figured out, and their engineering is just top notch, I think. This next tool is something that I highly doubt I will ever use in the situations I'll be carrying this knife, like in a gym bag or in my pocket. This saw blade, although it's a nice tool to have in certain applications, this makes more sense for me in like a Leatherman, where I really want a lot of tools at my disposal. In a knife like this, in an everyday carry situation, in a gym bag or a travel bag, I don't think I'll ever really use this saw blade. So I'll be honest, I wish it didn't have this, which would have made this thing a little bit thinner. But to be honest with you guys, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be picking up a different model, which is the Climber. And the Climber has all of these tools except for the saw blade, making it one layer slimmer. So this is a 4-layer, the Climber is a 3-layer. So really considering picking one of those up just for a little bit thinner form factor and it's going to be without this saw blade, which I don't ever plan on using, honestly. Next, we have the full-size blade. I believe this is a 2.5-inch blade. This, of course, will definitely get put to use. And I guess while we're on the topic of the blades, we'll go ahead and pull out the second blade, which, yes, this has a second blade, a small pen blade there. And that I do plan on using as well, maybe just for finer cuts or things that I don't necessarily need the full-size blade for. But honestly, what excites me about this pen blade is it's a backup blade. So if I'm using the larger blade here and I notice that it's starting to get dull, I've got this pen blade here that I can always keep nice and sharp, and I can always remember if I have to resort to my pen blade, it's time to sharpen my main blade, and at that point I'll just sharpen them both, make sure they stay nice and sharp. So you've always got a sharp blade in your pocket no matter what, and that to me is very, very cool. So let's go ahead and talk about some downsides to this right away. Obviously, these are not super high-end tools just based on the price. You're not getting premium materials necessarily, although my understanding is the surgical stainless steel that they use is pretty good, and I believe that they handle their heat treating quite well, although it is in like the mid-50s Rockwell, which is not particularly hard. Now, to me, this isn't going to be a big deal because I actually have been carrying this in the pocket the last couple of days, and it has been in my gym bag. And what this is just a secondary tool or a backup blade with some additional tools to go with it. So for me, this is not going to be a primary blade. If I am just kind of running around town doing whatever, I am going to have something like my Para 3 in my pocket or some other actual purpose-built folding knife with a premium blade steel, something that is going to be sharp, stay sharp, be tough, and that is going to be my dedicated blade. This is a backup. This blade here is actually, well, I've got two backup blades, I guess you could look at it. So this is my backup, and then this is my secondary backup, the small pen blade. So like I said, you know, the quality of the material on the blade for me is not going to be a big deal as long as it is nice and sharp. And I can say this thing came very sharp out of the box. It was pretty much shaving hair right out of the box, that's incredible. I've got some premium knives that I've purchased that do not shave hair right out of the box. So this guy, they really did an excellent job on the blade, and the blade grind is actually quite good as well. I have paid more for knives than I paid for this thing, just single blade folding knives with a worse grind than this has on both of their blades. And the scissors, even the scissors on this guy has a better grind on it than some knives that I've paid twice as much for. So I mean, that's pretty cool, and that just shows Victorinox attention to detail, the quality of manufacturing, which is excellent. Yeah, you really can't argue with that. And like I said, the blade steel, not a huge deal. It's a secondary backup blade for me, so I can put up with a little bit less edge retention, and I do know it's not going to be that great in the edge retention. Another thing that's not excellent about this, and I'll explain why this isn't such a big deal to me, but really the overall just kind of fit and finish, although it's not bad. You can see that these layers, these stainless, they're just kind of plates that separate each layer. They're kind of rough around the edges. Not everything matches up. Nothing really matches up perfectly flush. These scales also don't match up perfectly flush to the plates, to these liners. There's a pretty good edge there. Like I said, the back spine, nothing here is really flat and level. So just the overall fit and finish and the aesthetics of it in that respect are not the best. However, I will say it doesn't matter past aesthetics. If aesthetics is what you're worried about, maybe this will really bug you. But the thing is, this is such a purpose-built, well-engineered tool that none of that matters when it comes to the actual performance of the tool. Everything is so well thought out and engineered. Just for instance, look at these two blades. So those are actually taking up the same layer, and they look like they would absolutely be rubbing. But I'm telling you, if they are rubbing, you wouldn't even know it. These things are polished so highly that if they are rubbing against each other, you can't feel it. And I'm convinced they are not rubbing, because it looks like maybe they are, but you just can't feel any rubbing down in there. So that's just excellent. I just think that they really engineered this thing extremely well. And then just looking at how many tools they managed to fit in such a slim package, and everything just has such a crisp lockout, and it's obviously just slip joint style, but everything just goes right into place and it all snaps shut with authority. I mean, honestly, everything here snaps shut so nicely, and it doesn't matter what tool we're talking about. It's just really, really good. It's done so well. And then this half stop is extremely sturdy, and it's almost hard to get that thing to unlock, but that half stop, it just snaps right into place every time. So the overall just quality of engineering here and quality control, I think, is really excellent. So I'm really excited to put this thing to use. And I actually forgot 2 tools in this thing. We also have tweezers, which I can say will absolutely pluck hair, and I have no doubt they will have no problem getting out splinters. They're very fine, and they're actually very sharp, and the edges are done very well. So those are gonna hold on to whatever you need them to, whether it be hair, a splinter, you know, whatever. And then also you do have a plastic toothpick. It's plenty hard. You know, I actually have used it in my teeth, and it works really well. It doesn't get all, you know, sometimes when you're using toothpicks, the wooden ones, they'll get kind of messed up when you get picking around in your teeth. It kind of flattens them out and bends them over. This holds its shape extremely well, and I definitely plan on using that. I don't have the best teeth in the world, so I am picking things out of my teeth occasionally, and I definitely will be cleaning this off each time I use it, because I could see this getting pretty gross using it as a toothpick and just sticking it back down in there. I could see that getting pretty nasty down in there, so definitely want to clean that off if you use it and put it back in the tool. This, of course, does not have the plus scales. This doesn't have the pen. It does, however, have the spot for the needle. So I may be getting a flathead needle to put in there, or I actually did find that if you want to, one of these round head kind of sewing, or I don't know what you call them, usually they're made for like sewing or stitching, that does actually fit down in there, and then you can close that up. However, this one I did find that it starts to kind of slowly work back, and it can interfere with the corkscrew there. So I'll probably be getting, like I said, a flathead pin actually made from Victorinox to stick down in there. And the pen, I'm not too worried about. I don't often find myself in need of a pen, so yeah, I can put up with not having that. Anyway, guys, that's just kind of, well, this ended up being kind of a longer video, but kind of my first impressions of this tool, and to let you guys know that I plan on putting this in the pocket, and I will at some point upload an update video to let you all know how I liked this thing, if it stayed in my pocket, if I ended up you know, stopping carrying it. I'll let you all know how it goes. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you have anything to add or any models that you really love, leave a comment. I love reading all of you guys' input. And if you want to see more of my videos, I've got a lot more coming. Please consider subscribing. Thanks. Bye-bye.